When the world first heard that actor and singer Menglong had fallen from the ninth floor of a luxury hotel, the story spread like wildfire. Official reports called it an accident, but new leaks from police files are shaking that conclusion to its core. According to confidential sources close to the investigation, a mysterious guest checked out of the hotel just 10 minutes after Yu's fall, and what connects them might rewrite everything we thought we knew. The leaked documents, shared anonymously with a journalist known only as L, reveal surveillance timestamps, incomplete guest records, and a missing digital signature that correspond to room 912, directly across from Menglong's room 909. The name used at check-in was reportedly fake, linked to a passport that disappeared the same night. At first, police dismissed this as a coincidence. But what if it wasn't? What if the person in room 912 had something to hide? Witnesses claim that a tall individual wearing a long dark coat and a hat that obscured their face was seen entering the elevator around 11:47 p.m., just minutes before Yu's final moments. The elevator camera captured only a shadowed reflection, grainy but distinct enough to suggest the person carried a black duffel bag. The footage mysteriously vanished from the hotel's system 2 days later, replaced by static. One hotel employee, speaking under strict anonymity, said, "The man came down in a hurry, paid cash, and left his keycard on the counter. He didn't even wait for his receipt." The time stamp on that transaction? 12:03 a.m., exactly 10 minutes after Menglong's body was found in the courtyard below. Insiders say the hotel's internal server logs were wiped clean shortly afterward. IT technicians hired by management claimed it was a routine reset, but the timing has sparked outrage online. Fans, journalists, and even retired detectives have begun to piece together what might be the most explosive connection yet, one the original police report conveniently left out. An investigator close to the case, who was later reassigned, told one outlet, "There was too much pressure from above. They wanted it closed before dawn." His notes, leaked last week, included one chilling line. The guest in 912 was the last person to see Menglong alive. Security footage from the corridor, which surfaced briefly before being deleted from Chinese social platforms, showed two shadows outside room 909 at 11:52 p.m. The smaller figure appeared to be Yu himself. The second, taller silhouette remained motionless for nearly 30 seconds before turning toward room 912. Moments later, Yu's door closed. That 30-second silence now feels like eternity. But the story doesn't end there. 2 days after the fall, a female voice reportedly called the hotel's front desk asking about the belongings left in 912. The caller refused to identify herself. When the receptionist asked for verification, the line went dead. The room itself was cleared by hotel staff soon after. What they found was nothing unusual: a single water bottle, an unmade bed, and cigarette ashes. Yet, when one cleaner bent to sweep beneath the dresser, she discovered something she wasn't supposed to: a small flash drive wrapped in red tissue paper. Before she could turn it in, security escorted her out of the room, and the item vanished from the report list. The cleaner was later dismissed for violating hotel privacy policy. Online sleuths now suspect that the flash drive could have contained key evidence, possibly recordings, messages, or images from Menglong's final night. Some claim it's the same missing drive his manager mentioned during a recent interview, describing it as something he was trying to protect. As whispers turned into outrage, Menglong's former manager Sun Durong reportedly demanded that police reopen the investigation. "There are too many missing pieces," he said in an emotional statement. If this was truly an accident, why did someone flee the scene before his body was even covered? Theories have erupted across the internet. Was the secret guest someone you knew? A business associate? A rival? Or was it a woman? Perhaps the same lady in the red dress who's been linked to Yu's final hours? The possibility sends chills through the fanbase, especially since photos from the night show a faint reflection of red fabric near the corridor mirrors. Hotel employees have since been ordered not to speak publicly. But one former concierge, now living overseas, claimed the guest in 912 used a different name each time he stayed. "He was always polite," the source said. "But the night you died, he looked nervous. Like he was waiting for someone to call." The timeline is now under heavy scrutiny. Between 11:40 p.m. and 12:10 a.m., hotel cameras show a sequence of irregular power drops on 2 floors. The lights flickered for 13 seconds, exactly when the fall occurred. Whether it was sabotage or coincidence remains unclear, but an electrical engineer who examined the data said the interruption looked deliberate. Now, as journalists and fan investigators dig deeper, pressure mounts on authorities to explain the mysterious 10-minute window. The footage surfaced quietly, tucked within a data folder labeled Routine Security Check, but nothing about it was routine. At 11:48 p.m., exactly 12 minutes before Menglong's fatal fall, a woman in a striking crimson coat stepped into the frame of the hotel's west hallway camera. Her heels clicked softly on the marble, her pace deliberate, her face obscured by a wide-brimmed hat. For investigators, that moment, those 12 minutes, may hold the key to everything that followed. What makes this discovery so haunting isn't just the mystery of her presence. It's what happens next. Because witnesses recall hearing a sharp exchange of voices around that same time from U's suite, the now infamous room 1907. No one paid attention at first. The walls were thick, and late-night arguments were not unusual in that hotel. But a bellboy on duty later told investigators that he saw a flash of red fabric near the elevator just after midnight, moments before the commotion erupted upstairs. For months, the identity of this woman in red has been suppressed, buried beneath official silence and media diversion. But sources close to the investigation now suggest her appearance wasn't accidental. In fact, one insider revealed that Menglong had been expecting someone that night, a visitor he referred to cryptically as her. When police reviewed his phone logs, they found a deleted call at 11:32 p.m. lasting 24 seconds. The number was unregistered, yet the device pinged a nearby tower at the hotel's address. In those seconds, something was arranged, something urgent, something final, and then she arrived. In the newly recovered camera footage, her shadow stretches long across the dim hallway. She pauses outside U's door for 8 seconds. The timestamp blinks. Then quietly she enters. The door closes. From that point on, there are no images, only silence. But at 12 a.m., an alarm from room 1907 went off briefly, registering a short circuit from the balcony light. That's when staff rushed up, only to find shattered glass and the unbearable sight that would make headlines for months. Still, there's one unexplained detail that continues to disturb everyone who's seen the footage. When investigators later examined the hallway, they discovered something near the wall, an object dropped in haste, overlooked at first. It was a small silver pendant shaped like a crescent moon, engraved with 3 faint letters, YML. No woman ever came forward to claim it. No record exists of her checking in or out. But surveillance from a nearby gas station shows a red-coated figure getting into a black sedan at 12:04 a.m., heading east toward the old Riverside Road, away from the city, away from the truth. Now, theories multiply. Was she an acquaintance? A warning? A witness? Or something far more dangerous? An anonymous security consultant who analyzed the footage told our source, whoever she was, she wasn't panicking. Her body language showed precision. But she knew where the cameras were. If that's true, then her appearance wasn't coincidence. It was choreography. The woman's movements were clean, rehearsed. In one chilling frame, she tilts her head toward the lens, just enough for the light to catch her red scarf. Some online commenters claim her lips moved, as if whispering something, but the footage has no audio. Conspiracy forums erupted overnight with theories that the scarf she matched the one you wore in his final music video, Silent Promise, a project many believe foreshadowed his fate. Meanwhile, insiders whisper about another thread linking her to Menglong's private circle, a stylist who vanished 2 weeks before his death, leaving behind only a resignation letter written entirely in red ink. Coincidence? Or a coded message? Even the hotel staff remained shaken. One cleaner admitted, when I passed that hallway after midnight, I felt someone watching me. It was cold, like the lights had dimmed. Her voice trembled as she recalled the memory. I didn't see anyone, but I smelled perfume. The manager
roses,
said this was above
very strong.
our pay grade.
That detail,
Meanwhile,
roses,
online investigators
appears again
began
in the
piecing
coroner's
together
report.
travel data.
A faint
user
floral
known
scent was
as
noted on
Nightline
Yu's
Detective
wrist,
cross-referenced
though no
flight
cologne
logs and
bottles were
uncovered
found
a
in the
startling
room.
match.
Every new
A woman
clue
using
makes
the
the
alias
mystery
Lee May
stranger.
boarded a flight
The
to
woman in
Singapore
red
just
was
3
never seen
hours after
again,
Yu's death.
yet her shadow
She used a
lingers
foreign
over
passport.
every unanswered
The image
question.
on the ID,
Was she the last
partially
person you
blurred,
spoke to?
bore a
Did
striking
she witness his
resemblance to
fall
the red-coated
or
figure
cause
in the
it?
footage.
What's
Could
clear
she have
is
been
that
the
she was
same
real,
person who checked
and
out of
she was
room
there.
912?
An investigator,
And if so,
speaking under
what
condition of
connection did she have
anonymity,
to Yu
admitted,
Menglong and
there's a
Du
missing
Chong?
10-minute
A
gap in the
confidential
hallway's
informant
footage.
within the Beijing
Someone
Metro
edited
Police
it.
reportedly
The cut
revealed that
is
the passport
seamless,
belonged to a
professional,
woman linked to
which
a
raises the
now-defunct
final,
media agency.
most chilling
One you had been
possibility.
planning to expose
The
for
woman wasn't
financial
just a visitor.
manipulation and
She might have been
coercion.
part of something
Documents
larger,
from that
a
agency
cleanup
show Yu's
operation
name
to
among a
erase
list
what
of
Yu
unpaid
Menglong had
contracts
uncovered.
and a notation
Fans
beside
online
it.
have turned her
Risk,
into a phantom
potential
symbol,
disclosure.
a red figure
Was Yu's
representing
fall
everything
really an accident,
unresolved about his death.
or the silencing
But behind
of
the
a
myth
whistleblower?
lies a question
The hotel,
too heavy to ignore.
once a symbol of elegance
If she knew
and
you,
fame,
if she
now
truly
feels
met
like
him
a
that
monument
night,
of
what did he
unanswered
say in those
questions.
last 12 minutes?
Flowers still
The
appear
silence
by the
of that
front gate
moment
each week,
is louder
placed by
than
devoted
any
fans who
confession.
refuse to believe
And
his
somewhere,
death was
perhaps in
coincidence.
another camera
One
feed
fan
or
account
forgotten backup
at
drive,
Justice for
the
Menglong
truth still
recently went
waits,
viral after
recorded,
sharing a chilling
encrypted,
detail.
waiting for
An
someone
autopsy
brave
note
enough to
stating
watch
there were
it.
bruises on
Until
Yu's wrists
then,
that didn't
the
match
legend of the
fall
woman
pattern.
in red remains
Those
Yu
bruises,
Menglong's most
combined with
haunting
the missing
secret.
flash drive
12
from room
minutes that
912
changed everything,
have turned this
and a color
investigation
that
from a
now
mystery
bleeds
into
into
a storm.
every
And
unanswered
in the
word
center of it
his
all
story.
is the elusive
The
woman
story
in red.
didn't end with the
Perhaps
footage.
the only person
It only
who knows
deepened.
exactly what happened
When detectives
in those final
replayed the
10
clip
minutes
again,
before Yu
frame
Menglong
by
fell.
frame,
Late
the
one
atmosphere
night,
in the small
a
police
Beijing-based
briefing
reporter
room
claimed
changed.
to have received
Every
an
click of the
encrypted
play
email.
button echoed
The
like a
subject line,
heartbeat.
"You're
The woman
looking
in
the
red
wrong
had
room."
entered Yu Menglong's life
Attached
for
was a
less than
single
12
photo,
minutes,
Yu
yet every
smiling,
second now
surrounded
felt
by
like an
bright
eternity
lights, from
carved
what
into
looked like
silence.
a rehearsal set.
A forensic
In the
analyst
corner of the
paused
image,
at the 11
a
hours,
reflection in the
49
mirror,
minutes, and
faint,
33 seconds
blurred,
mark.
but
Zoom in here,
unmistakable.
he murmured.
The red
On the
dress,
edge of the hallway
watching
mirror,
from behind.
barely
If
visible,
true,
was a reflection,
it would mean she wasn't a
faint
stranger.
but undeniable,
She had been close
of
all
Yu
along.
himself standing
The
by his
world
doorway.
now waits for the
His
next
posture
leak,
was tense,
the next
like
truth to
someone
slip through the
bracing for a
cracks of
storm.
silence.
He wasn't
Because
expecting
every new
a friendly
discovery
visit.
makes one thing
Then
clear.
came the moment
Yu
that
Menglong's
froze
story
everyone.
didn't end when he
When
fell
she
from
stepped
that
closer,
ninth-floor balcony.
Yu's reflection
It began
shifted
there.
back,
And
his
somewhere
hand
out there,
raised,
the
not
woman
in
in red
greeting,
still walks
but in
free,
resistance.
holding the
still
final piece
image,
of a puzzle
pixelated
the
but
world
raw,
refuses to forget.
captured that fragile instant before words turned into something darker. No one in the room spoke. They didn't have to. That single frame said more than any witness statement ever could. At 11:51 p.m., the elevator on the west side opened briefly. A hotel guest walked out, heading toward the vending machine. He later told police he heard a muffled voice, sharp, breaking through the wall. It wasn't a scream, he said, more like someone saying, "Please, not here." Then silence. Then a thud. He didn't know it then, but those words would become a haunting echo across every investigation file. By 11:53, the balcony light in room 1907 flickered. Hotel records confirmed an electrical surge in the room's circuit breaker. At that same moment, the woman's red shadow reappeared, this time near the curtains. The last clear image shows her leaning toward you, who is now seated. The angle hides her face, but her hand seems to touch his shoulder gently, almost reassuringly. Then the footage cuts out. Detective Liang, who'd been on the case since the first night, couldn't shake the feeling that something didn't add up. He'd reviewed every second of footage, every digital trace, every message on Yu's phone, but the missing 10 minutes gnawed at him like an unfinished sentence. And then came the message. A data technician found it buried in Yu's deleted files, a short voice memo recorded that very night, time-stamped 11:55 p.m. The recording was corrupted, full of static and distortion, but a few seconds were audible. Yu's voice. Soft, uncertain, and trembling. "If this reaches anyone, please know, I didn't mean to fall. She." The tape ended there. She who? Liang whispered to himself, rewinding it again and again, each time hoping for more. The sound engineer insisted the cut wasn't accidental. It had been manually trimmed. Someone had edited the file after Yu's death. But who had access? A week later, a new lead emerged. A taxi driver came forward claiming he picked up a woman wearing a red coat near the hotel at exactly 12:05 a.m. She sat in the back seat, silent, and asked to be dropped near the East Bridge exit. He remembered her perfume, roses, and the way she kept checking her phone every few seconds. She didn't seem scared, he told reporters. Just calm. Too calm. Investigators traced the drop-off point, but there were no nearby cameras, no witnesses. The area was quiet, shrouded by the night fog from the river. The trail ended there, again. But it didn't stop the whispers. Online forums began connecting the dots. A user claiming to be a former stylist for You posted anonymously. She wasn't a stranger. She was someone he trusted. He thought she was coming to help. Within hours, that post vanished. Meanwhile, Detective Leong received a package with no return address. Inside was a single flash drive labeled 1907, red. When decrypted, it contained unseen footage, grainy, low resolution, but unmistakably from the same hallway. This version had sound. At 11:50, faint voices could be heard. A man's, Yu's, and a woman's. Their tone was sharp, urgent. You shouldn't have come. Woman, you left me no choice. You don't understand what they'll do if they. Static crackles. Woman, then let me finish it. Then a loud bang, like furniture striking the wall. The sound of quick footsteps. And finally, the balcony door opening. The clip ends in silence again. News of the leaked audio spread like wildfire. Fans flooded social media, demanding answers. Who was the woman? Was Yu in danger? What did he discover before he died? But behind the scenes, something stranger unfolded. The hotel's management suddenly replaced all staff from that night. The security company responsible for the footage was dissolved. And every backup of the hallway recording mysteriously vanished from police servers within 48 hours. Detective Leong knew it wasn't coincidence. He confronted his superior, only to be told the case was closed for national sensitivity reasons. That same night, he received a text from an unknown number. Stop looking. She was never meant to be found. The message disappeared seconds later. But fate has its own timing. 3 days after that message, Leong discovered another anomaly, a mirror image in the balcony glass of the recovered photo. When enhanced, it showed a faint reflection of someone else in the room. Not you. Not the woman in red. A third figure, blurred, standing near the curtains. Someone had been there all along. Whoever that third person was, they never appeared in any other frame. And yet, their shadow matched perfectly with the outline found in Yu's final selfie taken hours earlier, a silhouette standing behind him, untagged, unacknowledged. That discovery reopened everything. Meanwhile, Yu Menglong's fans began leaving roses outside the hotel, hundreds of them. Every night, the scent filled the lobby, mingling with the memory of that unseen woman. Some visitors swear they've seen a red figure near the elevator at midnight, vanishing before they can look twice. To this day, no one knows who she was. Some say she was an actress he once dated. Others claim she was connected to a production scandal Yu had threatened to expose. But what everyone agrees on is this: the last 12 minutes before his fall weren't an accident. They were the conclusion of something carefully arranged. And the woman in red, whoever she was, didn't just appear. She was sent. Somewhere, she's still out there, watching as the world pieces together what really happened in room 1907. And perhaps, when the final piece falls into place, we'll finally know what you meant when he whispered his last words. She knows the truth.